That is a beautiful story and certainly relatable in many ways, particularly about the suffering part and just putting things on ourselves that we realize aren't who we really are. From that, you have written a book, and we're very excited about that. Can you tell us a little bit about what You Are Enough is about?
So from the moment I began to kind of come into myself and relax into who I was, people started to come to see me from all over the world. And I've had the pleasure of working with people from all walks of life, from all religious backgrounds, who were going through all kinds of different things in their lives, but the common denominator was that they weren't enough. The common denominator was that on some level, they were building this huge company and this huge business to prove that they were lovable. They didn't feel like they were enough in their marriage or their relationship. They didn't feel like they were enough as a parent. They didn't feel like they were enough, in some cases, just even as a human being, to where they question their existence. And so literally, I've been able to take what has been now probably millions of personal interactions with people from all over the world and summarize it into something that's acceptable to us all. And this transition out of you're feeling like you're not enough to feeling like you are is probably the most important journey that we can all go through, because you can't be healthy and you can't be vibrant and access longevity until you deserve it. You can't be in a loving relationship or have the intimacy that you want until you deserve it. You can't have any kind of sustainable success in your life until you deserve it. And so the common denominator is that if we don't feel like we're enough, we don't deserve our life. We don't deserve the experience that we're having, no matter what it is. And we stay stuck in the familiar and we continue to repeat the past instead of being open to this greater possibility that we have access to in the moment that allows us to create a more expanded and dynamic future. And so this book was really written as an antidote to modern living, because to a certain degree, we have all been conditioned to believe that we're not good enough. We're not smart enough, we're not pretty enough, we're not handsome enough, we're not educated enough, our race is a limitation, our choice of sexual preference is a limitation, and there are all of these boxes of conformity that we as an infinite presence have been placed inside of. And the problem is that the very second we identify with all of these labels, we limit our impact in the world and we limit our ability to express our potential.
Yes.
And so this is why I wrote the book, because we're facing suicide and depression and anxiety at almost like epidemic levels. And the root cause of that is we're comparing our manufactured version of ourselves to other people's manufactured versions of themselves, and we're just falling short over and over again. And we're either playing this game of being better than or less than, but there's no peace in any of that. And so we need to really get that we're enough, not just on a mental level, but on an experiential level. And that's why I'm so excited about the book and being on tour and coming to see all of you.
Absolutely. Well, that sounds, needed in the world, and a wonderful gesture and a gift to the world. Why is this concept, and I think you spoke to it a little bit, especially now, personally and globally, so important?
Because we have been making choices as a collective experience of being human out of fear, lack, and scarcity. And what's been happening is the reason why the world is so imbalanced right now is because most of these choices have been made purely from an egoic level. Okay, they haven't been made from a place of connection or from a holistic standpoint, right, of what's great for everyone. And so we're living inside of probably the most important decade in human history. I'm very generous in saying it's a decade. Most people really believe it's only a 5-year window within which we have the capacity to turn everything around. And what we're specifically turning around are all of the unconscious choices and decisions that we've made individually and collectively that are undermining us. Okay. And the one thing that needs to happen in this window of time is we need to come into the awareness of who we really are. And that really doesn't have anything to do with religion or spirituality. It really has to do with just navigating our humanity. I've always known that our humanity is the doorway to our divinity. And the more we're at peace with who we are as human beings, the more we're naturally experiencing that more transcendent aspect of us. And so looking at the most pressing need of our time, and also just realizing there's a point in the life of every creative, right? If you're a musician, an author, if you're an actor, actress, if you're a director, writer, whatever that creative medium is, there's a point where all of a sudden your whole life lines up to get that thing out of you that you were born to share.
Absolutely.
And I feel like for me, this is it. Like it's like humanity's evolutionary timeline and my personal development are completely syncing to where I can deliver what's needed at this time in the world. And that is this feeling of being enough.